Hey everybody, Kurt Nelson here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're talking about the importance of two-strike hitting. Hitting in two-strike counts is so important, and I firmly believe that it's the most important count to hit it. Obviously, if we do a good job in previous counts leading up to there, we're going to get to less two-strike counts. That will be a huge advantage to us. But I think generally speaking, you see so many different approaches to two-strike counts. And a lot of them are similar. I hear a lot of shorten up, simplify, do less, see the ball deeper, expand the zone, fight. And those are all valuable to a certain degree depending on who you're working with, right? I think that's always the important part of what we do, is that it's about individualization. If you have a kid that never strikes out and understands the strike zone very well, and handles the bat well, why would you ever want him to simplify and shorten up and expand the strike zone, right? I think at the younger age levels, we do have to understand our umpires. There's a lot of, there's a lot of leeway on that strike zone a little bit, so we kind of have to understand that. So, we call it the gray area a little bit. The gray area is kind of the one that, is a ball technically, but it's also borderline strike. And then you start getting off into that outside the gray area, which is a blatant ball. And, a lot of these umpires, at least in Washington State, are they try hard, but at the end of the day, I think that, they have their own interpretation of the strike zone. We'll adapt from that and we'll learn from that. But ultimately, I don't want to expand the strike zone with two strikes. I want to understand the strike zone and own the strike zone, to a certain degree. And then if I have a guy that's going to strike out a lot, or a girl that's going to strike out a lot, and is always striking out, constantly missing, and there's a lot of moving pieces in that swing, it's probably a good time to simplify, probably a good time to shorten up a little bit more. And oftentimes I think what happens is, what we typically hear is see the ball deeper, and I think a lot of people constitute seeing the ball deeper with sitting back, right? I want you to sit back and see the ball, you sit here and you see, the typical, like, hey, wait for that thing so you can see it. Next thing you know, you're blown away by a fastball and two strikes that you should crush, or it's causing you to panic swing and chase the ball, right? So, ultimately for me, is see the ball better. See the ball better. And how do we do that? Is we make that move on time, and we immediately are going to have better vision, right? You can just see the difference to me, as you constantly see the shift back, the sit and reach, and then go, oh no, where's the ball? Instead of going, where's the ball, right? And I think when posture and vision's better, immediately we see the ball better. Immediately we make better decisions. I think we miss less by nature. And, I think we have a better understanding of the strike zone as well, because our posture really plays a role within the understanding of space, right? So ultimately, two-strike hitting to me is the most important count to hit in. I think that it is, especially when you're facing good pitching, especially when you got runners in scoring position. We can't be, popping out, deep to the outfield every single at bat with runners on second and third, especially in the younger levels. I think at the higher levels, you can afford to strike out a little bit, and you're going to strike out more. There's a lot of people out there right now that are arguing how the game is getting worse because people are striking out more. And it's the same people that never faced this kind of pitching on a daily basis. This kind of pitching is the best it's ever been, and it's only getting better. And these pitchers are getting really more aware of how spin affects the ball, how tunneling pitches affects the way a hitter can make a decision, and the amount of time a hitter has to make a decision, which is already extremely, extremely low. So ultimately, I think that strikeouts are going to be there. They're going to happen. I think when we fear strikeouts, and when you start talking about like younger kids, that's like the number one thing that's just bred into younger kids from like 5 years old on, is that they fear striking out, right? They think it's the worst thing possible to happen. Instead of fearing weak contact, instead of fearing going up there and being passive, instead of fearing going up there and getting your hands blown off, you know what I mean? Like, to me, ultimately, I think it's more important to ingrain aggressive attitudes, confident attitudes, and it really plays with two-strike hitting. There's so many hitters out there that just get to two strikes and immediately go, I don't want to strike out, I don't want to strike out. And the second we go about it that way, there's no way you can tell me that a hitter's going to be more confident in that count, right? So ultimately with two strikes, know your hitter, know what you're working with. We need to simplify a little bit. We need to make sure we understand, who is striking out too much and why. Oftentimes someone's striking out too much because they're getting tense, because they're trying to sit back and see the ball better, opposed to actually making that move early and easy, seeing the ball better, and immediately I think we're going to be better off anyways. But you'll know your hitters that you have to actually shorten up with a little bit, and typically to me that just means that they need to put more work into their actual swing, in the off season or in their cage time to get that swing to a position to where they're better off with 2 strikes anyways, because they're immediately going to see the ball better. And I think ultimately when we see the ball better, we're better hitters by nature, right? So 2-strike hitting is extremely important. Figure out who you got, what you're dealing with, and that'll kind of give you a good direction of what you need to kind of work on, or the mentality you need to ingrain in that hitter to be more successful in that count. So 2-strike hitting. All right, until next time.